Welcome to the Cincy Postcast. I'm your host, Kevin Wallace, and before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about our sponsor, Streetside Brewery, a lovely little brewery over on the east side of Cincinnati. These guys are making some of the best beer you will find in the city, bar none. If you do, head on over to their tap room, which I cannot recommend enough. I'm going to highly recommend you check out the Game Ball Golden Ale there. It's a nice, easy drinker. I think you're really going to enjoy that one. And what's really nice about the tap room is that they always have different events going on. There's always a food truck outside, at least one food truck outside. Coming up this weekend, they've got live music all day Saturday, including Jonathan Cody White. And then again on Sunday with Monty Likens, there is some good music going on. If you are up early Sunday, June 23rd, at 9 a.m., there's a Formula One watch party. Check it out. Again, Streetside, the tap room is really cool spot to go to. The patio is beautiful. I think you will really enjoy it. If you haven't had a chance, please go check them out over in Columbia, Tusculum, 4003 Eastern Avenue. It is a really cool spot. And a huge thank you to Streetside for sponsoring this episode of the Postcast. And on today's episode, well, I mean, come on. What do you think we're going to talk about? One of the most insane matches in FC Cincinnati history. One of the greatest goals ever scored in FC Cincinnati history. Only Kenny Walker can have an argument here. This was one of the most insane games we've ever seen. And we recorded this podcast immediately after it. So this is a very scattered brain, I'm not even going to say review, just an absorption of the vibes coming off of this game, what to make of the backline, what to make of the offensive juggernaut that is suddenly FC Cincinnati. Boy, there's also a game coming up on Saturday that we acknowledge at some point in this. Oh, and for those of you who keep listening, there is a real fun nugget of Yu Yu Kubo information that we learn live while recording. This is such a fun episode, such a fun game. Enjoy the postcast. Joining me to talk about that game, and that's probably it, I'll be honest with you. It's the Chief, it's Grayson. Chief, we're recording immediately after that match. How are you feeling?
I don't even know how to process what I just saw, other than to say Lucho Acosta is him. And the only person that believes that more certainly than I do is Lucho Acosta.
Yes.
I just witnessed a very little man, decide at the end of this match to put 26,000 people on his back and say, no, you're not walking out of here in a bad mood. Not if I have something to say about it. And he had a lot to say about it.
Grayson, how you feeling?
Oh, man. I'm glad I picked this game to go 0-0.
It's funny
it was
that
so close.
I was thinking about this as I was walking back and past Grayson and said hello on the way back. But there were like 4 different versions of this podcast that probably could have been released depending on at what moment the game ended. Because within this game, there are so many storylines and so many things coming out of this. And yet what we end up with and what the top line takeaway is the one thing we were certain of going into this match. That's that Lucho Acosta is the best player in MLS. And
full stop.
Full stop.
Yeah.
No.
Qualifiers.
No qualifiers. He's the best player in MLS. There's probably an argument at this point. He's the best player on the continent in the Federation. Yeah.
He's quickly joining conversations on best ever MLS player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were talking about this on Extra Time this week. Like, he, at some point in the next 2 to 3 years, he's young in terms, he's not young, but he's young in terms of the numbers that he's putting up and where he's moving up rankings. We're going to start having conversations in the next couple of years, assuming he continues to play at this level, about him passing Landon Donovan numbers. And they named the fucking MVP trophy of this league after Donovan. Like, I've run out of things to say about Lucho. It's just, that's the top line takeaway. And it covers a wealth of any other things that went wrong tonight for the FC. But Lucho is just, I'm him. I'm not going to lose this game. We're not losing a game at home. I'm personally not going to stand for that.
Yeah, I was just looking this up, and I believe Twellman was talking about this after the match. We are now halfway through the MLS season. Lucho has 13 assists. The all-time single-season assist record is held by Carlos Valderrama from the year 2000 with 26 assists.
Was that the hockey assist era too? Were they still giving the hockey assist as a real assist number back then?
I think
I feel like it was. I think they mentioned this on Extra Time.
Let's say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they changed how they computed assists at some point in MLS. They used to give you as long as you touched the ball in the build up to the goal, they were going to give you an assist on that.
Do they not still award the MLS assist?
They do.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, they might have tightened up the how lenient they were with it, but regardless, Lucho is on track to tie that record. The next closest anybody has gotten was 20 assists. Both Maxi Morales and Sasha Kljestan did that in 2016 and 2019. With 19 assists, won Lucho Acosta in 2022 for FC Cincinnati. I don't know if you heard of him. So, yeah, pretty good company for old Lucho to be in. You start to run out of things to say about him. He just will not let this team lose. That's all there is to it. This defense can be as bad as it wants to. This team can have off nights or on nights, whatever the situation is. This is, as he said, as he scored that last game or that last goal this game. Yeah, this is my city. This is my team. He's screaming, pointing at the badge. It's been a long time since Cincinnati has had a player. The city has had a player like him in any sport who is able to so consistently back up everything and still feels underrated. And I know people are going to say Joe Burrow here.
He's not underrated.
I think Lucho Acosta is
Joe Burrow is rated. No, he's rated.
Yes. Joe Burrow is properly
accurately rated. Lucho Acosta is underrated, which is insane to say about the reigning MVP. I still think he gets slept on in this league.
Yeah.
It is weird that this league, on a meta level, he's a star. He's exciting. He scores goals. He does dribbly boy stuff. He makes great passes. The fact that they aren't shouting from the rooftops, you've got to watch this guy play. Like, the league's been crying out for someone like this forever. Dynamic, number 10, a reason to tune in on a nightly basis. You're going to see him do something crazy quite literally every time he steps on the field. This is a league that has been starved for stars. And here's a guy where he isn't going to run off to Europe at this point. He's an MLS player. He's going to start breaking records that are sacred to the people that are involved in this league. You would think that any well-run sports league would want to try and make this guy a household name. That they would want to make this guy someone that even casual soccer fans, you got to check out Lucho Acosta in Cincinnati. Because he's that good. He's not MLS good. He is world-class good. The only problem for him is that his transfer to Europe got botched at one point, and he's behind a generational talent for his national team. Generational talents for his national team.
Lucho, I believe, is in the top 10 all time in career MLS assists. So if you, and I just looked this up. I have no idea, but Wikipedia stats are as of the 2023 season.
Okay.
And they have Kobe Jones and Diego Valeri both at 91 as tied for 9th.
Okay.
Lucho Acosta, according to MLSsoccer.com, is sitting at 92.
Boom. There you go.
And I think it's, to Chief's point, like, Lucho Acosta is somebody who, at this point, is going to have spent basically his whole meaningful career in Major League Soccer.
Yep.
There aren't a lot of MLS stars that you could say that about. You could say about, so the guys on that list, right? Diego Valeri is somebody who spent, most of his prime and most of his career in MLS. Other guys of that nature, but it doesn't feel like he's spoken of with the same aura that they give to Diego Valeri.
Yeah.
Right. And it feels like it's because, MLS media is just more invested in one, free writing off of just Messi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just being earned media. And then convincing me to care about Ryan Gauld or whatever, because they're we have stars around the league.
Right. Yeah. The league media has turned into this thing where it's we're going to mention all 30 teams in this YouTube video because we need to get hits and we need to get impressions from all 32 fan bases. And when you do that, what talking about Lucho Acosta becomes is, and then, you've got Lucho Acosta in Cincinnati. And what else is there to say about him? There's a lot to say about him. There's a lot. The media never ran out of things to say about Tom Brady. Okay. They never ran out of things to say about Peyton Manning. The media doesn't run out of things to say about LeBron James.
Yep.
But leagues that build stars and have stars talk their stars up. It's mandated from the broadcast partners. It draws ratings. The world of sports is star driven. And MLS wants to cry constantly that, it's so hard for us to build stars because our best players, they go and they leave as soon as they get good. You've got the star. You've got him. You know what else is fun about it?
Promote him.
He's an Argentinian.
Yes.
You are missing a once in a lifetime opportunity to tell the story of you have this the greatest of all time by most metrics, and one of his own countrymen is chasing him for the Supporters Shield, for the records, for the MVP, someone who never received the accolades internationally that this other guy did, but is here and he's matching him highlight for highlight, moment for moment. You would think the league would kill for this. And instead it's, we can't spend too much time talking about Lucho because we've got to get on to this compelling Colorado Rapids matchup. It's who the fuck cares?
And I get it when MLS owns all the media. It's just it is a issue with when you don't have just entertainment media, right? You don't have a company that wants to just kind of maximize entertainment and interest in your product running your media. You would just have the company that owns all of the teams.
Right. There's no talking head program. There's no debate show. I don't even know if somebody has attempted an MLS, brand or, an MLS style thing.
You own the channel. What is it? Why wouldn't you just replicate First Take or Good Morning Football or something? What are you going to do? You don't have any other programming to bump off
because
TV.
they are so terrified of being interesting.
Yeah. There might accidentally be some light criticism of like Chicago's ownership group or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I know the answer to this. It's because they are profoundly, like Grayson said, afraid of being interesting. And in order to do this, you would need to at some point introduce some transparency into how this league works, how roster builds work. Because right now, the league is so opaque, it's difficult to criticize anything because nobody knows if everybody's working from the same playbook.
I don't find it difficult.
It would be like in a proper country with a proper footballing press, they would be pressing the Argentinian national team as to why exactly Lucho Acosta isn't getting called up. If Thiago Almada and Messi are good enough to be in MLS and still get called up, and Alan Velasco is able to get called up, what does Lucho Acosta have to do to get into a camp?
Or how about this? In a proper footballing country, they would be asking questions of senators. We have a Senate race here in Ohio. Sherrod Brown and the car salesman from Cleveland. Which one of you is going to fast track Lucho Acosta's citizenship for the United States so that he can get on the field for the men's national team?
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's Come not. On. I don't need him going away too. We're going to talk about But like, where is that? Like,
yeah.
Where is that?
These would be great questions. Do our senators actually want the U.S. to win in the Olympics? They're not letting our best players go.
Where is this for MLS? Where's the hot take show? Where's the debate show? Where is the attempt to pump some of these players up? You have a streaming platform at your disposal, backed by what, the number one or number two most like wealthy company in the world, and you can't get an hour a day to talk about this shit. I don't know. Like, we're straying away from. There's so much to talk about from this game.
Look, well, here's the takeaway. Lucho is so incredible that I think it is worth challenging the assumptions of the league. He is exposing so much. Lucho Acosta right now leads MLS in 2024 in goals and assists. That is 22 of them. I don't know exactly when Real Salt Lake kicks off tonight. Christian Arango does have a chance to surpass that. He is leading Messi in this. Okay, like, I don't know what to tell you.
And like,
guys.
He's racking 3 and 4 of these up a game. It's not like, he gets like an assist a game. He's just like averaging multiples.
Yes.
Per game at this point.
Oh, my God. Well, it's a good thing.
Give me the lineups. Let's get into this.
I was going to say, it's a good thing he is, because FC Cincinnati is going to need him to do this all summer. The lineup for this game: Roman Celentano in goal, Ian Murphy, Kip Keller, Nick Hangland as your back line from left to right, Orishano out left, Yedlin out right, Buka, Woboto, Acosta in the midfield, running it back, Kubo and Kelsy up top. Look, you look at the FOTMob ratings of this team, and it does sort of make sense. It's lots of green, lots of 7s. Celentano gets a 6.5. Sure, you're going to get that with 3 conceded goals. But then the back line is all in bright neon orange. I don't think, were there any surprises with this lineup? Maybe the biggest surprise is that Keller takes over the center back role.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, because I was like, who would you want in the center? And my first thought was Ian Murphy.
Yeah.
But then you have to play like Keller on the left, and he's not left-footed, and it's like a bit of an issue.
And we've seen that be an issue.
Then it's like, do we want to put Nick in the center? And I don't. I really, really don't.
It brings a chaotic energy you don't want in the middle of the field.
And so then I was like, yeah, I guess Keller is like the logical choice. When Keller was subbed later in the game,
yeah,
and they moved Murphy to the center and Yedlin to left center back, I accidentally said out loud to the guy I was sitting at the game with, See, I told you Nick is like too dumb to play at the center of the spec three. And a couple people around me like chuckled. I was like, I didn't mean that.
It's a different skill set that's required.
A different skill set.
Yeah. It is funny seeing that. I thought the center back substitutions all night were interesting because it told you who exactly they trusted, exactly how much. And I think the same can be said of striker as well, with both Dado and Santos getting subbed in ahead of a presumably healthy Bupenza.
Bupenza doesn't play defense, and
right.
There were already an entire backline of people that can barely play defense. You didn't need someone up top. You needed, at that point in the game, you needed people that were willing to run. And it's almost like they needed fresh legs in the striker position just because they were anticipating having to track back and do anything to try and protect this lead. There were no surprises in the lineup for me. It's just this. All right, so Miles is going to be gone for, what, about a month? Not counting the Olympics?
Maybe two. I don't know. I don't like how much the Olympics thing is out there. They kept talking about it on the broadcast, by the way, that there are reports out there he's being rumored for the Olympic team and all sorts of fun things. Surely we'll know more about that, like more concretely, right? Like, did they release a short list of overage players or a short list of Olympic roster yet?
I don't know.
No.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
I would assume they have to start I would assume they have to start getting ready to go to Paris here soon. The Olympics start in like a month. I think soccer starts.
It's fine.
Well, yeah. I'll give a report on that later. The back line.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it now.
Let's do this. It's a little thin.
It's bad. It's thin. It's bad. And where it shows up the most is odd man breaks, set pieces, and moments of chaos. Yeah. And wouldn't you know it, that's where it looked really bad tonight. The set piece defense was bad. As they made their substitutions, they're also conceding a ton of height. Like, they are missing big bodies that Miles and Matt are. And just it left them tonight where they are unable, not just like bad, but unable to defend in the air. Philly figured this out, and what they were doing, even when they got the ball down to the box, was they were looking to chip and looking just to get the ball up into the air, because they knew and they were confident there wasn't a single person that was able to defend aerially in the box. And get used to that, because I think we're going to have to roll with the players we have right here for a significant amount of time this year.
Yeah, this is going to be 2 episodes in a row that I've said something that is very, let's say, speculatively sourced. But I do trust this information.
Okay.
I heard that Miazga's done.
Oh no.
Career?
For this,
they're going to have to put him down.
That he's fed up with the Biden presidency.
He's renounced his citizenship.
No, I've heard and believe that Miazga's out for the year.
Oof.
Yeah, I feel like if it wasn't...
We'll see if that's not the case. I know that I think Noonan declined to provide more information at the press conference post-game. But I guess like what I would say is prepare for him to be done. And if he comes back, think about how happy you'll be.
It's like a new signing, right? It's
like a new signing.
The old cliche.
This was my Irish Catholic grandfather's life wisdom. Expect the worst, and if the best happens, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Truly a man born of the Depression.
Chief, if I may, I would disagree with you on the back line, and I understand this is a rough game to have this take.
Let me see how you're going to spin this one, babe.
So let me offer some spin. Aerially, if we can keep Hagelin, Keller, and Murphy in the game all game, they'll be fine. Yes. Substitutions, they will absolutely be conceding height and therefore be losing that. But just very quickly, Ian Murphy, 4 of 5 aerial duels won, 80%. Kip Keller, 3 of 4, 75%. Nick Hagelin, 4 for 4, 100%. These boys can't be beat.
But the problem is there's a difference between aerial duels in the field of play and defending aerially in the box. It's just a different animal, because your aerial duels, like, that's when the biggest bodies get up for a set piece or for an attack. And that's different than trying to win a 50-50 ball in the midfield, where a lot of it is dependent on body positioning, fighting through contact. Someone's trying to grab you and bring you down, and judging a high aerial ball in the air. On a ball whipped into the box or chipped into the box, it's just a different skill set. And it's hard to overcome that.
I don't think it's a height issue with those three, with the three that we started tonight. I think it's a skill issue.
Sure.
Just not being like
very
good.
I'm just offering the evidence I have on my argument. So
it felt like Philly's plan was like, we're just gonna whip balls forward.
Yes.
And trust that at some point our forwards are going to make a better run than their center backs.
Yeah. To give you some credence here, don't look at their ground duels won. Nobody had more than 33% of success there. But I will also say this. Ian Murphy is somebody that when we first saw him, we thought he was absolutely done for, never going to play in this league. Like, this was a terrible outing. And he has been pretty solid, to the point where I think most people would say he's our best center back available at the moment. I think if you give these guys reps, time with the first team, time together, they will improve. This is the first time that the three of them had to play together like this. This is the first time. Keller has been the marshal on the defense. I think given reps, they will get better than what we saw tonight. I'm not going to say that they will be league winners. I will say that this ought to be about as bad and disorganized as they should be. Short week as well. It's tough to turn around and get that together. Keller, by the way, I'll mention it here, came out with cramps, they said. It is very hot. And this is something that they had mentioned actually before the San Jose game, that they were worried about his game fitness. And that's why he had been getting some extended run out with the SEC2 team. He's in it now. So he's got to get up to speed there. But otherwise, looks like we'll be running these guys back against New England. So yeah, I think that they will improve.
I think they need to go out and get someone. I don't know. If Miazga goes on season ending, they get some salary relief, right, Grayson?
Yeah. You get salary relief and roster relief. So you can replace somebody with a season ending injury basically like at their budget hit or lower.
Yeah.
So like you can replace a max TAM player with a TAM player. You can replace a DP with a DP. You can replace like a U22 with U22, et cetera.
Miami did this to start the year. Of course they did. They had a U22 player have a season-ending injury in the preseason, and they just went out and signed another massive U22 player. That's a problem that they'll have to figure out next year because both will be on the roster. But that would be the downside here, to say signing a John Brooks, right, who I believe is a free agent. You could sign him to a DP contract for half the season. That comes out to being a TAM contract.
But then what do you do next year? I mean, exactly. I trust Albright to know what's going on here. If he has another rabbit out of his hat to get like a loan from someone where maybe you find someone who's not in the plans in Europe or in a fall league where they can get them through the January window and send them back after that. I don't know what's available, who's available. They're also going to have, hopefully, these U22 spots that the league is allegedly adding where we can get up to 3 U22s. Hopefully, they're ready on day one to go sign a couple, because I think that they're going to need to add on the center back list because they were short. They probably could use help on the back line before all this went down, but this is not a sustainable path, especially if things are continuing onward in this fashion.
Stand back and stand by. Carter, I think we may be getting Yuya's Chipotle order.
Dude, as if this night can't get any better.
Carter, our good friend, best friend, some say.
Many people
Carter
say.
Chapley said, "Hey, at the Post Cincy, I have information I will be sharing shortly that you greatly desire. Stand by." It's got to be Kubo's Chipotle order.
It's either the Chipotle order or the Miazga tape.
It's one of the two. Carter also tweeted earlier that Lucho moved up to 9th on the
nice.
Although I would say Carter did tweet it that Lucho moved to 9th in the all-time assists. He did not highlight it. So it was at the bottom of a tweet of just of various things about the goal. You got to put that right up top, man. I'm not reading your whole tweet.
Yeah, come on. You lead with the big news. Man, okay. So let me ask you this: the news all year. The last month has been FC Cincinnati pursuing a big name, replacing the DP striker, et cetera, et cetera. Are either of you willing, if you're Chris Albright, would you be changing your strategy right now, given how well the offense seems to be working right now? Would you adjust with the DP position?
No,
Boy,
but I would be calling Pepe's agent.
You know what? I might
offer Pepe 1.5 million, max TAM, just for the rest of the year, and just say, next year figure out what you want to do.
But you can do that without adding a DP.
Yeah.
So you can take the extra TAM or the extra GAM, right? If you just keep 2 DPs.
Assuming they do that rules package, yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it depends on who's available. Because I guess the other thing too about this game is, so Kelsy scores again.
Yes.
He's looked great. And you've got an $8 million purchase option on him. It's weird. I guess we'll have to talk about it at some point. This isn't the right episode to do it. But Kelsey's on an $8 million purchase option, which I guess would make him 7.
7. Yeah.
Okay. So he's on a 7 million.
Said, yeah.
Orishano's on a 4 or a 5, I want to say.
Somewhere in there.
3?
3.5?
$1, Bob.
Let's auction this off right now.
I mean, they've got a lot of money promised out to loans if they want to buy all these people. And it's going to be interesting to see how this all fits.
Not for nothing, Barriel is still an FC Cincinnati player until somebody shows me he's not. So
yeah. Anyway, so Kelsy feels like a must play. He had a good game, I thought, this game. He defended well. He pressed well. He gets a goal. It's a great finish on a weird angle where he heads the ball down into the ground, which is just a savvy move in that position. I thought he played well. And I thought Kubo
looks like $3 million for Orishano.
Yeah. All right, so that's doable. But I thought Kubo played a really, really good game too. I thought Kubo was the most dangerous player on the field. Kubo, probably 1 or 2 touches that he wants back, but still draws a PK, was in position to score multiple other times. Who are you taking off the field for a DP striker right now?
that is what makes this so interesting, right? Like, I guess the assumption is,
it's got to be Kubo, right? That you're going to move him back to like the super sub role, because you got to give Kelsy minutes just to see if he's worth the buy.
I mean, at
this point, he seems like he's worth it.
You could pull Kelsy off.
I'm almost leaning that way.
You could pull Kelsy off and say, like, okay, if we are playing to like play with the ball, keep Kubo on, use, Paulo Dybala as another striker. And sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Can you keep a straight face on that
one? And then, just let them interchange, right? And then you bring Kelsy on as like change of pace and spot starter.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I feel like he's like, I don't know if 7 million's the number, but I feel like he's worth hitting a purchase on, even as like a non-starter.
Yeah.
Because he's a U22, so his transfer doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I can say
this. I want him on the team.
Yes. I can say this now because of when this will release. We're getting the Chipotle order tomorrow.
Nice. Hell yeah. I mean, Kevin Kelsy is scoring a goal. He's if his stats are updated, and I think this was his 4th goal tonight, right?
4th goal in his 5th start?
4th goal, 5th start. He's played 488 minutes and has scored 4 goals.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
You can't take that off the field. It's just, especially when you consider that he brings a completely different dynamic that nobody else does.
It is so funny that basically him and Kubo are giving you about DP production, both of them.
I mean, we had a DP that we didn't see fit to use on the night, which is another thing maybe to talk about.
Given how Santos played as well, the game ends incredibly, and the narrative doesn't get better.
Santos had opportunities,
but that's the thing. Does Bupenza score one or two of those?
Does not. I don't think Bupenza gets those opportunities because I think there was opportunities won with Santos's skill set,
right? Ugh.
And also Santos's ability to play in the system, which was always been the Bupenza problem, is that he does what he wants when he wants to do it, and the system works if you play in the system.
Like, I want Sergio to score more goals for sure. I think a better player in the positions he was in tonight probably gets one. But like, it's MLS, right? Like, you can either get a guy who like scores a goal, or you can get a guy who gets in the opportunities that Sergio Santos gets, but you can like rarely get somebody who does both.
If somebody does both is in a different league.
And his name is Paulo Dybala. So I don't particularly want to go goal by goal. I don't know. How do you guys want to take this game?
It's wild that we've been talking for 30 minutes and we haven't talked about Luca Orishano's goal.
Yeah.
which on any other night would have been the top line lead story of what the fuck.
And it probably still should be. Lucho's cherry
Lucho.
on top of his season. Yes. I mean, the story of Kubo's hat trick was Lucho as well, to be honest. So Orishano taking that shot speaks to confidence, first and foremost. Love that he's thinking that, because Samil, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Semley? Who's the Philly goalkeeper?
Oh, I have no idea.
Do
not care.
Somebody who's never logging on. Someone who's never watching the highlights in this fucking game ever again. That's who he is.
Had a fantastic season for Louisville last year. Signed for Philly to be the backup, and has now made 13 or 14 starts for them.
How do you spell his name?
Semmle. My brain is struggling.
Looks like Semmel.
Yeah.
Oliver Semmel. He's German.
He is German. He played
kind of
college.
A Ben Lunt situation going on here.
Oh my God, he is Ben Lunt 2.0. Backing up a top tier MLS goalkeeper. Yeah, it's exactly it. But he's not even out of position. He's in a good spot. Orishano's shot, I think, goes in if Orishano's at the top of the 18-yard box. Like, it is so well hit. It is perfect.
Can I tell you my favorite part of this goal, though? Is how absurd is it that Pavel Buka gets an assist on this? He's credited with an official assist for the most mundane pass in the world.
Yeah, good.
Who was it? Was it Obi got credit for Lucho's goal against Charlotte last year, and he just dribbled through half the team.
Buka with just the most absurd assist in history.
So here's my question. Shouldn't Kubo get an assist for drawing the penalty that Lucho scored?
This has been my argument for a really long time.
100%. Drawing the foul should be awarding you the assist.
You were the last person to touch the ball before he steps up to the spot to take it.
Yeah. So and when Kubo drew the foul, I screamed,
"Let him take it!
Let Kubo take it!" And a guy in front of me made a very compelling argument. He turned around and he said, "No, I have $10 on Acosta to score." I was like, "Hey, fine, man."
Half the stadium did. The FCC to win Lucho anytime goal scorer parlay has got to be the most common bet around TQL Stadium.
It's known as the your first beer free, even if you don't have the first financial card.
Oh my God. I will have to say, just very quickly, reminiscent of the Kenny Walker goal against Toronto 2 back in the day. I will say, for Kenny's credit, he's not as far back, but Kenny's was on a volley, which is pretty insane. But Orishano's goes down, I think, as the better of the two. Man, it was fun to remember that good old goal.
I saw it. I saw him take the shot, take it. And I was like, I think the goalie's not like far enough out for this.
When he took it, I thought it was like, oh, somebody didn't make a run there. That's unfortunate.
I mean, according to Lucho, that might have been what happened. Lucho seemed to, in the post-game press conference, seemed to say, what was it? I don't have the quote directly in front of me. It was...
I think... Is it from, was it Carter tweeted it?
Yes, he did. It was. I don't know if he meant it or not, Lucho Acosta said, and I guess we'll never know. Oh, so good.
Oh, man. Boy.
So... I mean, we've talked about this before, that this was a team that was regularly winning 1-0 or maybe 2-1. Was this a team that was going to be able to win shootouts? And 4 times tonight,
they proved a little too much this season.
They're having too much fun.
Maybe we can just beat somebody by like 3 goals. Well, let's try that.
That's really sort of the next step of this, right? Is like they prove they can win the close games. They prove they can hold clean sheets. They prove they can win shootouts. Both teams going back and forth. Put it all together, baby. You got to win by 2 goals or more from now on. That's the dream. But 4 times this team had to take the lead. It is incredible watching this team. It is incredible watching Pat Noonan and the coaching staff work like this. They just never say die. We've seen many times.
Goonies never say die.
It is really incredible how Pat Noonan and the coaching staff have coached Lucho Acosta to do the things that he does. Just really impressive that the coaches have done that and are responsible for that.
Done all of this. This is Mitch as the goalkeeper coach for Roman Berkey all over again. But there's something to be said, though, for the team mentality, right? That, like, we've seen team spirits be broken. San Jose is a great example of this, of, like, as soon as the chips looked like they were down, they were done for. They weren't coming back.
I respect the hell out of that. This team just doesn't stop. Like at the end of this game, they had pulled. Philly were going for broke with the subs to try and win this game, get a point out of this game. FC, they pulled off Kubo. I was of the mind maybe you pull Lucho off as well, just because you got another game coming up on Saturday.
He looked gassed in like the 60th minute.
Yeah, and
but shows you what I know.
And I'm sitting here watching this game, and I shouted down to Chris White, former head of the Pride, who is one row ahead of me. It feels like people were booing Philly's keeper on the slow restarts. And I was saying, look, if there's another goal in this game, I'm betting we're giving it up, just because it felt like the back line was more than a little shaky, and it didn't look like it was going to take much to cause chaos and cause enough to get another scoring opportunity. I was petrified of another set piece for Philly because, that racist Kai Wagner sure delivers a nice ball into the box.
Yeah, he was really upset tonight.
Yeah, he was big mad.
Oh, he had to defend Yuya Kubo all night.
Right? Can you imagine being in that position?
You talk about the defense and coaching and stuff, and I turned to my friend I brought to the game when they took Haglund out, and they were up 3-2. And they decided to go with the Powell, Murphy, Yedlin, right to left, back three.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know about this. When then Philly scored the equalizer, I thought in my head, like, oh, I know what to talk about tonight.
Right.
Turns out I do want to give a couple. There's two people we haven't talked about who I think deserve being talked about. Number one is Nwobodo. I thought that this was an excellent game from Nwobodo from a defensive point of view, in terms of being in front of Grayson. You breathed.
I have the Chipotle order.
Wow.
Breaking news.
Oh my God.
I have the order.
I am so ready for this.
Wait, are we doing it now?
Should we not?
Let's hold it till. No, we got to read it live.
Let's hold it till the end of segment 1.
Okay. We'll celebrate the win.
First of all, we're doing segments today.
I barely have the idea of the game that we're talking about in my head, let alone a note. Oh, my God.
All right, so I'll be quick with this. Nwobodo, great game. Other person I just want to shout out is Yamil Assad, who, God damn it, does that guy know the assignment, which is get in there and run as hard as you can all over the pitch. And my man was holding the B button down all night and taking himself out of a position every so often. He chased a dude near the end of this game. He chased a dude halfway across the field before realizing I should probably get back to my assigned zone.
No way.
But no, I just, and he's told to defend, but he can't stop the instinct to get a little forward, and love that for him. I love every bit of that for him.
I love Yamil as a squad player.
Yes.
And especially as like kind of like depth for like, outside wingback, yeah.
I don't need to see any more of him. I don't need to see any more of Yamil than I'm seeing. I am seeing the proper amount of Yamil Assad. He got an assist tonight. He left every bit of it on the field. This is, okay, Jonah ran a poll earlier today. Who is more responsible for the FC? If you only had to keep one, Noonan or Albright? This is an Albright move right here.
This is a Italian Albright's column.
Now, maybe did he go to Lucho and say, will you pick someone you get along with for the love of Christ?
Yeah, I really feel like this is like a GM Lucho move, to be honest.
But it panned out.
Lucho's
got
friend.
a future.
He will come here.
Right.
Lucho's got a future.
Will you pass to Bopenza if we sign your friend and get him a job? The answer is still no. But.
Still no. Assad at one point was like a super promising, very not promising as in like a young player, but like was a really good player. Like looked like he was going to be a breakout star in this league, and really fell off playing for DC. This is the best that we've seen Yamil Assad look since he was playing in Atlanta, I think, is when he really broke out. He looks really good. This is such a good pickup. This is exactly what you want out of a guy. I think is making league minimum or something like that.
He is.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think the team's like roster report or whatever they put him on the supplemental roster.
Wild.
Yeah.
His form is good enough to start for a lot of teams in this league. Again, maybe he couldn't sustain that for 90 minutes, but he's looked very good.
I mean, I think he'll probably start, a game or two here or there, but
sure.
Other thing,
well, with this back line, he might be starting at center back.
Yeah. On that note, too, what's up with London Gato? Is he just not? Does he just not? And also Malik Pinto. It feels like it's been forever since we've seen Pinto get anything more than just a minute or two. And if there was a game tonight that was crying out for perhaps someone with some fresh legs to...
I wonder with Pinto if there's a thought about, like, who would be behind him if you put him in the game. Like, because he often comes in for Obi. He comes in for Obi when, like, Miazga and Miles and Ian are behind him.
Right.
What he would have come into this game is in front of Ian, Alvis, and Yedlin as their center backs. I don't know about that. London Agato, I would say, is pretty clearly, like, viewed as a...
like we have to have someone, so may as well be you.
It's like we're so hurt that we have either a Gato or Bopenza to put at center back.
I wonder what they would pick. If for whatever reason that was the decision. I do wonder how long is the debate between the coaching staff? I mean, well... Bopenza's taller.
Agato's like 6'2".
I think Agato's taller.
I have no idea.
Yeah, no, Agato's like large. Soccer large, I should say.
I think if we thought that... I would be shocked if we see Bopenza ever again.
Yeah, no, I think that we're done here.
Like, why would you not have put him in tonight?
Yeah,
like,
if he was ever going to appear, it would have been in this game.
Yeah. Well,
when Dado comes in,
hopefully they have a transfer lined up, and they just don't want him to accidentally injure himself or score a goal and go out and celebrate too hard tonight and screw that up.
Yeah.
What a game.
Kevin Kelsy getting the headed goal to open it all up.
Yeah, Kevin, say what the goals were. Say what happened in this game.
Okay, so Kevin Kelsy heads in, hell of a goal, assist from Lucho Acosta, just the perfect scoop pass. This is something that we should be used to by now and something that will be on repeat forever and ever. I'm just going to blow past Philly's goals. All of the goals are basically blown assignments, chaos in the box, free kicks, etc., etc. Nobody looks good. Lucho Acosta scores a penalty.
Kubo with the unofficial, the post assist.
Yeah, Kubo with the post assist. Kubo with a very sly smirk to the camera after the goal was scored too. It was maybe a soft penalty. Who's to judge?
Well, I mean, there was also like this earlier, right before that, Kevin Kelsy had kind of been also had an appeal for a penalty. I didn't see a replay of it, but I figure you get two softs that should equal one hard.
That's the math. I don't know.
Many people are noting.
Luca Orishano with just an incredible assist from Pavel Buka. Really, the story of that goal is Buka's assist. Orishano hitting a midfield shot. He unfortunately rolls the ball just over the line, so we can't even say from his own half, but damn near was basically from his own half. 90th minute, Philly thinks they have the equalizer, but it is Lucho Acosta just dribbling through and next to and around every single player in Philly's box that he can find until he works out the exact angle to fire a shot weirdly across his own body. If he were a quarterback, this is what every quarterback coach would be coaching him not to do, but passing or shooting it basically back across his body, fools the keeper, 4-3, runs to camera. Without the hydration break, this goal doesn't happen. I'll throw that out there. And FC Cincinnati wins. Before we get to the Chipotle order, meta narrative, is Philly a rival or is Philly just always a good game?
It's always a good game, not a rival.
Always.
Good. Okay.
It's not a rival because we took their best. We took everything that was good about them.
Yeah. Speaking of that, our friend at the goalkeeper was on one.
Oh God, what did he do?
This is great radio.
I guess. Oh, maybe that was just.
He apparently deleted a tweet, though.
Apparently, he deleted a tweet that said. So Tom Bogert had tweeted rating MLS MVP Lucho Acosta scores a 100th minute winner for FC Cincinnati, and apparently, at the goalkeeper deleted this tweet. It must be nice to be him. And the brass who signed him, who used to work for the union and swear up and down that they don't wish any harm on their former employer now that they work for a different team with a better stadium and millions more dollars to spend on such players.
What a weird tweet.
What a weird tweet from a reporter.
Did he forget to switch accounts?
Yeah, it really feels like somebody who forgot to switch accounts.
Like my burner who's on the other.
Because for one, those people did not sign Lucho Acosta.
Right.
And honestly, if you believe certain people, they didn't want Lucho Acosta.
They weren't very keen on him.
Right. They weren't sure that they were of the Sam Stay school, that they weren't sure that he was worthy of a DP spot.
Yes. And this crew or not, he was playing in Mexico when he was signed. Anybody could have signed him.
Yeah.
Like if Philly really wanted him, and given the budget that was spent on him, he was in the Philly range at that time. What was it? A $5 million transfer fee, $1 million salary?
It was like a $3-4 million transfer fee.
Yeah, and maybe $1 million a year salary. Yeah, that's how much they spend on their top end talent anyway. So weird throwing shade at FC Cincinnati general manager for being the general manager of FC Cincinnati. Was he not supposed to try?
This is why you block your exes on Facebook. You don't want to see them living a better life without you.
Man. I have no clue what he could have possibly been thinking with that tweet.
It's a tweet you send from a club employee, maybe, like from a club employee's burner.
Do we have like drinks in our press box? Like,
I don't know. We can ask somebody, right?
Are those guys all like slamming shots or something?
Man, But like, he doesn't work for the team. He's not like their Carter Chat. He works for he's their Pat Noonan. If you're looking for the equivalent or the proxy.
Imagine like Laurel tweeted that, like, or Pat tweeted that, right?
If Johan Dame somehow ends up as a head coach at like Nashville and beats FC Cincinnati later this year, and then Pat Brennan goes out and tweets like, must be nice to go play and coach for another team and beat your former employees. Like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
Man, I can't do it. I just can't do it.
I'd say that's a great way to end the segment, but no, it is not.
It is not.
It is not.
Grayson?
This is the biggest breaking news.
I think we all have to go get this for lunch, so.
I'm already ahead of you on this one.
There is, it's like weirdly ambiguous.
No. Oh,
what?
Okay.
No.
Okay. It's just double meat and veggies. Okay, good.
It would be really funny if it was just burrito bowl.
Okay, ready?
All right.
It's a bowl.
Okay.
Right. Base salad.
Okay.
White rice, chicken, then extra chicken.
Nice.
Love it.
Cheese, avocado, which I assume means guacamole.
Yeah.
I don't think they do like sliced like avocado at Chipotle.
Can I get that unseasoned?
You get whatever you want.
Yep. Sometimes beans, sometimes cream sauce. But the next thing is shocking.
Okay.
After what I just said. But always the same. In quotes. So sometimes beans, sometimes cream sauce, but quote, but always the same.
It's
so everything
riddle.
else is the same besides that.
Everything else is the same except for what's different.
Know what I'm getting for lunch tomorrow.
That's just life. The chicken, then extra chicken, is the Chipotle hack, because if you go and tell them double chicken, you basically get served 2 half portions of chicken. You need to say chicken. They give you the full scoop, and then once it's already on your order, then you go, oh, actually, I'll get extra chicken. They got to go back in for the extra
full scoop.
Scoop.
The extra scoop, and you got to be recording the entire time too.
Of
obviously,
course. Please don't
record. Please don't.
Also, before we end this segment, this is very self-indulgent, but I was not able to attend the match. Did either of you see post merch in the wild?
I did not see a single item.
Thank God.
not one. Which
Thank
is great.
God.
Because remember, I said if I see you in the stadium wearing your post merch, I will give you a high five.
At a time and location to be determined later.
And let me put it this way. With as sweaty as everyone was today, I was cool just avoiding high fives.
That's a good point. Today would have been a good time to skip it. Perfect. Okay. Well, that ends, man. In some ways, I don't ever want to stop talking about this game, but there is another game coming up on Saturday. I couldn't even tell you who we play. My head is still focused on this match. So let's jump over to part 2 real quick, and then let's get out of here. Before we get to the next part of the episode, I do want to tell you about our sponsor, Cincy Shirts, which is now the home of official Cincy postcast merch. This is so exciting, and we really never thought we'd see the day, and yet here we are, alive and actually seeing the day. Cincy Shirts has been with FC Cincinnati from the beginning. They've been with the Post for ever now, from the beginning, our very first sponsor. So happy to have them along for this journey. There are 6, count them, 6 different shirts available at this time of recording that you can purchase from their website for real life. This is, again, a real thing that you can do. As I'm sure you know, but I will remind you, they have 3 retail locations, including Fort Mitchell, Loveland, and Oakley Hyde Park, where in those locations they can print on demand. If they don't have the size of something you want, you can print on demand. I assume this means postcast shirts as well. Give it a shot. Let me know how that goes. If for some reason you do not want to purchase one of our shirts, I won't hold it against you. You can use promo code ThePostCincy. That's all one word, all caps, ThePostCincy for 10% off your next order. This also works with Postcast shirts, so please don't pay full price. Make sure you knock 10% off for yourself on that one. Spread the code far and wide, I guess, and let them know about Cincy shirts and let them know about the podcast while you're at it. Otherwise, the code doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But again, a huge thank you to Cincy Shirts for sponsoring this episode and so many before it. And if I do see you out there with a t-shirt, I will be embarrassed for you, but I will probably give you a high five and tell you well done. So again, thank you to Cincy Shirts. Thank you to you for buying shirts and using that promo code. All right, we're back. Let's talk about this. Chief, who do we play?
New England.
Hey, Bruce
our old buddy Caleb. By the way, do we have an answer as to what happened to Bruce Arena? Did he finally?
Nope.
Love this league. Complete bullshit.
Did do a good interview with the Golazzo or
Kicking It.
Kicking It
is the podcast. It's a very good podcast. A very good interview. A lot of really good info. Not whatever happened to get him fired.
But he does walk right on up to the fact that there are NDAs and legally he can't disclose what happens, which is nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Very well-run league we have here. I just like to keep bringing up the fact that we still
He does say in the interview that he was cleared for reemployment like last December, but it wasn't like messaged out to everybody or there was some confusion on that. Yeah. And then then people think he wasn't cleared till April, or I may have like the months like slightly wrong on that. But basically he said like he was basically good to be hired by a team late last year, but people were under a misconception that he wasn't able to be employed until later this year.
Yeah.
He also said he wanted to, coach somewhere. And then he said there may be an opportunity for him in Europe, although I haven't seen
any rumors. Yeah.
Any rumors. If there was an opportunity in Europe, I assume it would be like Denmark or something. Like not like a, not to denigrate Bruce in any way. Just like I would be surprised if it was like a top 5 league.
Yeah, I'd go back and look at Bob Bradley's European tenure because Bob bounced around to a bunch of teams owned by Americans. So like Le Havre in France, second division, Swansea, and a couple of teams in Norway and Sweden as well.
Yeah. And Bob also coached like the Egyptian national team, I think,
during the Arab Spring uprising and all that. He actually earned a ton of street cred for that, but ultimately did not qualify for an African Cup of Nations. Kind of ruined some prime Mo Salah years as well with that one. Bruce also said in the interview he wanted to tell people what happened, and he'd be happy to, and that he certainly takes his responsibility for his role in whatever happened. So it doesn't sound like it was such a horrific thing that he would be desperately trying to hide it or hide from it. So
it's absolutely absurd that the league hasn't put out some kind of report on it or leaked it to some journalist or something. Like,
he's one of the legends of American soccer coaching.
You have to explain
in limbo.
You have to explain why somebody goes from setting the points record.
Yes,
in the league, and being
New
like
England was doing so good,
being like he is like the grand dame of like American soccer coaches. Like, there's not a single coach born and bred in the United States that you could put up side by side to him.
He's the best American soccer coach yet. There are
there's
a handful of guys with potentially higher ceilings.
He dwarfs Bob.
Yes.
He dwarfs Jesse.
Yes.
Maybe you could see like Matarazzo like eventually putting together a resume that but like not,
if he wants
today.
to identify as American, well, there's a handful of those guys in Germany that.
Well, but Matarazzo was like born and raised in the U.S.
Yeah, sorry,
he's not Hertzler.
Right, David Wagner's another one.
About that, yeah. But I put Bruce above David Wagner. Like,
oh yeah,
Hertzler's, he's got a whole career, but yeah, Bruce.
And not only that, when they suspended him, they were in second place in the Shield race behind us,
pushing us. Yes,
yeah, you have to
stupidest.
You have the league. I mean, they don't have to do anything, and clearly none of the media cares about it. Because if I don't know, if my job was to cover the league or cover like New England Revolution, I would be asking that question every day.
Yeah.
I mean,
although sneaky, the Revs have.
Yeah,
they've been a little better recently.
They've been a little better recently. But
no, I like our preview being entirely talking about Bruce Arena.
Yeah, but to close the arena thing, yeah, it's absurd. And it's not, I don't know. It doesn't make anybody look good. And it's just the kind of thing that MLS only gets away with because it doesn't have like any kind of media that is both, that both has access and is inquisitive.
Yeah, right. Is at all slightly curious about weird things happening. So the New England Revolution come to town. Miles Robinson will still be missing. Matt Miazga, according to Grayson, out for the season. Corey Baird, who knows? He might not be on the team anymore. It's possible they've forgotten he exists.
He was allegedly doing better this week, like possibly training a little bit. I don't know.
Emotionally or physically?
I don't know.
Oh, fair. It would be nice to beat New England because historically we have struggled against New England back when we were bad and they were bad. And then when we were good and they were good, and they always seemed to have our number, which was very frustrating. That Open Cup match in 2022 still grinds my gears, 5-1 or something. But yeah. New England comes into this one 3-game winning streak. Look at them go. Beat Vancouver Whitecaps last time out. This is once again, we're getting another team on the bye. I do want to track, people do this all the time with the NFL of like how well rested your opponent will be going into facing you. Feels like we faced a couple of teams now coming off of buys. Columbus, I remember. I think there was another one in there. Maybe I'm just remembering that one. Yeah, glancing at their injury list, though, it looks like they got a bunch of dudes injured. So who knows? Here, instead of the striker pairing, because it does feel like the striker pairing from now on is Kelsy Kubo.
Until we sign Dybala.
Until we sign Dybala, and then it's a real debate because Kubo might keep him off the field. Is there any debate as to who the center backs are? We got to run the same center backs.
We only have 3 center backs.
Yeah, there's only 3 of them. There's nothing.
And we play 3.
We do play 3. Is there any thought that they might go to
No,
2?
I thought about that. I spent way too long tonight watching the game thinking about that. I was like, could we maybe just play 2? And
what if
the answer is no?
This is dumb, but I'll ask it anyway. What if Obi moves to central center back and you start Pinto.
This feels like the Medunjanin to center back thing that people tried to meme a little bit.
Yes.
Michael Bradley did play center back a bit for Toronto sometimes when Toronto was the worst team in the league.
I'm thinking more like good Rafa Marquez style.
I think the problem with doing that is that then you don't have Wobodo in front of Wobodo. And I think that he is better at the best way to protect your center backs is to stop the ball from getting there in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm open to Wobodo as center back.
Oh, there we go. Got one convert. And this is the same guy, by the way, me, that said that our center backs just need more reps and they'll get good. Yeah, I'm already trying to blow it up.
Can Kevin Kelsy play center back? He's tall.
It's worth a shot.
I'm open to OB as center back. I just don't want to ever do it.
You're the one that says they need reps. Your boy Keller, hopefully he's uncramped. They'll get him some fluids in there.
He better like drink a lot of water because we got like Wednesday, Saturday coming up.
Hey, body armor and Celsius. That's all he needs to drink.
Can we get some of those like those mythical air conditioners for the outdoor stadiums that Qatar allegedly invented? Can we get some of those installed?
Is there any chance the U.S. loses so bad to Bolivia they just bow out of the Copa America?
Where are they playing the Copa?
Who cares?
But like, can Miles fly back for a few of these games?
He's not going to play.
Yeah, if he's unused, yes, I want him.
Carl's got one of those jets at Lunken. Can't he like come in, play our game, and then we'll private jet him back out to wherever the next like U.S. men's national team camp is?
It would be nice if we had like U.S. games like the day before FC games, like the rest of the way. So you'd be like, oh, Miles didn't play.
Yeah, get him some work. He can do 45 minutes for us,
right?
Yeah.
I bet Miles would love that.
Maybe he would
love that.
Do you imagine what like a badass he would be? It's like, I'm so dedicated to my club. I'm hopping a PJ. I'm flying back for the game. I'm starting, and then I'm back to the U.S. that same night. That would be some baller shit.
PJs are pretty tight. By the way, it sounds like the PJ is what got him to come to FC Cincinnati in the first place. Is the only piece of information that Chris Albright provided in his pregame interview. That Miles liked flying here in a PJ.
Yeah. Get him a PJ, get him a designer suit and some nice gaiters to step off the plane with, too.
Get him a nice like Indochino suit.
Yeah.
He also said in that interview that we had been recruiting him for 2.5 years,
which feels impossible.
One, impossible. Two, illegal. So maybe don't admit that one out loud, Chris.
Oh yeah, we've been tampering with the player under contract for so long
before he signed his other deal with Atlanta.
Yeah, do something about it, bitch. Yeah, Carl's got the jet. We can make this happen. He can be. Rock stars do this all the time. Like what? So somebody's going to bitch about his carbon footprint.
Yeah, the Eras tour, like Taylor Swift, like kind of like
she made it to all to Travis's games.
You know, she ambles like 25 steps a show, 5 days a week for like years and years.
I don't know what she's talking about. She's the greatest dancer of our generation.
Can we get some Swifties hate listening to this to goose the numbers up a little bit?
We could work an angle.
I'm just trying to get people to listen to this.
The second you float that idea to Miles, he probably tweets right then and there, he has accepted the call up to the Olympics. I want nothing to do with this team anymore.
You tell me you watched Lucho score that goal tonight and point at the badge and point at the field, and you don't want to be back here part of this?
Man.
I mean, is there any team other than us or Miami that you would want to be on this season if you're a top player? And he can't go to Miami.
I love how little research these players do and their agents must do, because everybody always mentions New York. Playing for either New York team what's the MLS. You're either in
Kamar, what's his name? Kamar Lawrence? Is that a player? He got like He got like sued by his landlord for like massive like unpaid rent. He was like in like Harrison, New Jersey or whatever.
Right. You're playing in Harrison, New Jersey, or you're playing in a random Major League Baseball stadium or way out in like Hartford if you play for NYCFC.
Yeah, but can you put a price on having access to the New York club?
One
rooftop bars.
I can put a price on it, and it is permission from Carl to use his PJ to go to New York when the games are done.
Come on, let's get this PJ for Miles. Let's get this going here.
There's a FCC charter flight.
Ooh, no, Sky Miles.
Sky Miles is good. That's his new nickname if he agrees to do this crazy commute idea.
His nickname is Sky Miles, but he won't need him because he's not flying commercial. He's on the PJ.
Nice. Just love the idea of having a dedicated charter after FCC home games. They fly the whole team to New York to party for a night, and we fly them back. No questions asked.
We can make this happen. All right, let's get some predictions out there. It's getting fucking late.
What's the score? FCC 2-2. Why not? That feels right. I'll throw
Grayson.
it out there.
1-0 New England.
Oh, gross.
3-3 tie. Let's get wild with it.
Why not? Honestly, I'll take any result with what our defense looks like right now.
It's like, boy, did you not see this coming at the beginning of the year? The FCC shootout crew.
It's perfect, though. If this team gets used to scoring 3-4 goals a game, as soon as eventually some center back help comes, they'll be fine.
Regrow a bionic leg for Matt Miazga.
Lop it off, put a prosthetic on, he'll be fine. Can you play with a prosthetic leg?
I mean,
I'm cool with it.
Well, that's
can you get some of those, what was that dude that killed his wife that had those blade legs?
Pistorius.
Yeah, get a couple of the blades there. We can.
I think it was his fiance.
That doesn't make it better.
I don't think that's the key detail of the story.
It makes it a little better.
Are we done here?
We are.
We really got ourselves canceled.
Chief, kill it.
Yeah, so I want to hold on. I want to read this tweet.
Oh God.
It's also from @thegoalkeeper. It's in response to the acknowledgement that he deleted that other tweet. It says, but not even the Cincinnati fans who love pounding me into oblivion will change my belief that Chris Albright especially enjoys win, singular, over the Union.
What?
Go fuck yourself, San Diego.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Cincy Postcast. It is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out at thepostcincy.com or just click a link in the description to check out some of our written work. It also has links to our social media accounts across all sorts of different platforms, including YouTube, where we are trying to do more and more video content. Please, dare I say it, like and subscribe and leave a comment. But no, that would be really, really helpful. I also want to give a thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers. They're a local Cincinnati band who provided all of the music for this episode. We love having them on board. You can check them out. Again, link in the description of this episode to find out where they might be playing shows next or where you can listen to more of their music. Also want to give a massive, massive thank you to the awesome and very attractive patrons over on Patreon. It is a voluntary subscription that people take out with no real promise of anything extra that keep this show afloat. And we are so, so thankful to those of you that have decided to take that commitment. if you do like the show, or at least just want to engage with other people who have listened to the show and want to talk about FC Cincinnati, MLS, soccer, or really anything else, you can go on over to Discord. Again, link in the description. Lots of links in the description where you can find a link to the Discord. That's where we are keeping the conversation going 24/7. It feels like it's a really fun group of people in there just talking about FC Cincinnati. And like I said, just about everything else. And finally, I'll say it. If you liked this episode, and given the fact that you've made it all the way to the end, I have to assume you either like it or for some reason cannot reach the stop button. Please share this episode with a friend or family member or someone who likes FC Cincinnati. The best way for us to grow is from a personal recommendation from somebody who likes it. And if that's you, please tell other people. And if you don't have any friends, feel free to give us a review on whatever your podcast platform of choice is. We'll take anything we can get. But again, a huge, huge thank you to everybody for listening to this show. I am blown away that anybody listens to this. So again, I well and truly mean this. Thank you so much for listening.